What do you do when they're like, get that off my porch, dude? Like, come on.
Well, because of that, I usually know there's something going on. Maybe it was domestic that day. So I'm really good. The difference between good and great is being efficient. So I'm efficient because I know when to leave.
Oh, nice.
And I know when to come back, right?
You were talking about, before we got started with this, a little bit about your background. So tell us about a little bit how you were raised.
Well, yeah. First off, I was born in my house, my parents' house, in Reno, Nevada. And I was raised up as a Mormon, but I was a kid, so I was just really raised. My dad was a great guy. He wasn't the leader. He didn't study the church or the books, but he was the one that everyone looked to when they needed something, mainly service. And so just showing up at church was like his thing. If you show up, you're a part of it. So when I didn't show up, I don't feel like I'm a part of it. But for me, if I show up, I have to show up all the way.
Oh, me too. I like that. Go home. Go big or go home, baby.
Yeah. So it's hard to like be committed to church if you really want to actually fight that battle. It's a never-ending battle, and so it's hard to go to church for me. Do I believe in the Mormon church? Yeah. Do I believe in all these churches? Yeah. I believe God lives in you. He lives in me. And so when you say, oh, we can speak it into existence, of course God hears it, right? You say it, you hear it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you can speak into existence, but that's why they say, hey, be around all these positive people, positive. But you can always beat the negative with prayer if he's there with you. So places I've worked, I've been fortunate to see that.
Well, luckily, I know that one of my strengths, because of the Gallup Strengthsfinder, is positivity. My friend, one of the best impactful episodes we've ever had is a spiritual talk with Omar. You know, I always wanted my kids maybe to be Mormon, and so he got me the Mormon book just so I could read it. And, you know, look, here's the deal. I have different things that come to me. All the creativity for man, I mean, it comes from the ultimate creator. So, you know, learning the detail and specific nature and insight and some of the truths inside of that book, mm-hmm. you can't help but really see divine truth.
I'm a weirdo, but like I said, God lives in all of us. In a way, we all could be our prophet, right? You could really talk with him. So he wants you to read his word, but his word can be written through other people. Is the Book of Mormon right? Probably. Did he focus and pray? Yeah. Are there other books out here that God helped write? So like knowledge is key in general. Mm-hmm. It's hard to really commit to that though. Right. And go out there and read all these books that might have been, you know, what you needed from God, in my opinion.
Right.
Obviously, these ones...
We always see things through our own lens.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, the Bible is the Bible, right? And when we know it, and we don't know always what's good or right, but if you pray about it and read it, it could be straight from him.
Well, guys, let me welcome you to this intimate discussion inside the Blue Collar Boardroom. This is Jared Lee. He's a door-to-door expert. He is one of Vivint's top salesmen. He's worked with roofing companies, solar companies, alarm companies. He's been a $1 million earner inside of the door-to-door industry. And basically, I've had a vision to build an underground railroad of storming Mormons. I mean, a team of storming door-to-door missionaries, because I've always considered myself the hail damage evangelist. Mm-hmm. I mean, the public service that I provide people, telling them the truth about their roof, that there is no better cause, in my opinion, because we are the calm after the storm. People don't understand how the process works. Insurance companies feed these people propaganda. All we do is help people, put a roof over their head, not get beat by the toughest negotiators in the world. The same people I was talking about making the United States a factory for workers, these same people that want you to stay small, they're the ones that own the insurance companies. And so the scam is that they'll take your money, but they don't want to pay it out, or they don't want to tell you when you may need a neighbor to stop by and say, you may have storm damage. As a matter of fact, here in the state of Florida, they tried to make that illegal, and it didn't last 12 days. Friend of ours, you got to check out the new episode about the roofing sales law deemed unconstitutional. But within 12 days, one of our friends, clients, and studs in the industry, Gale Force Roofing, Lifetime Quality Roofing, Alex Gerhardt, Zach Willard, they sued the state of Florida and won and single-handedly saved the door-to-door hustle here in Florida. But Jared, he's done a lot of things, and I really want to kind of expand on this big picture mission. I know if you're watching this, maybe you would say, is door-to-door something that is really, in this day of technology, a dying deal? And I want to pose that question to you in this age of digital technology. Is door-to-door dying?
It's a no, because if you go out there and work, you get results, correct? In this day of age, there's a phone, there's social media, and you can get those results real fast. But you have to make that commitment. And you have to be aware of the social media. You have to be aware of the Nextdoor app, of the community pages. And why would it be dying if you can use these to your benefit? Like, even the law that you were just talking about. Like, he was asking me earlier, what do you think about the law? I think
it's a great door-to-door pitch.
It's so great that I heard about the law.
Yeah, I know.
It's a great problem, too.
Did you hear about the First Amendment
and
law?
I'm going to overcome it every single time at the door before it's an actual problem. And guess what? All my jobs are going to be approved because I know what the problem is, and I'm going to overcome that problem, and I'm going to help everyone fix and solve the problem. And I'm not a salesman. I'm a problem solver. So I found out what the problem was here in Florida, and now I love the market, and I'm super excited for that reason.
Yeah. More importantly, guys, you're watching this. You want more door-to-door roofing sales. We know that. You want more buy-in from your door-to-door sales team, more effective door-to-door sales team. You want more door-to-door salesmen. Well, me too. It's my favorite subject to talk about. And if you are wanting to be one of these door-to-door millionaires, listen up, because we're about to get in the system. See, this guy's been inside of the guts of a company that sold for over $11 billion. He personally knows some of the highest and most important people in the door-to-door industry, and you've seen it all. So tell me, what do you think is your process to become a door-to-door millionaire?
Process?
Yeah.
There's no real right process. It's all about the final result, how you get there. Everyone does it different, but you got to be around the people. My process is surround yourself with the people. If I can take a little from him, a little from him, a little from him, process whatever, but the end result is what matters.
Amen. And so what I got from that is that I've always been stronger in the wolf pack. I look at a lone wolf versus a wolf pack mentality. I love, that as a brotherhood, we might sharpen each other's when we fight, compete. But we also are that much more trained to make the actual kill, and we also eat better as a group. And so what you're saying is surround yourself with strong wolves.
Yeah.
And you'll learn, and they'll make you better.
And they'll be part of the pack.
And learn to kind of work as a team. It's the ultimate unfair advantage in business. Now, let's get into that. How did Vivint do that in a way that other companies that you've never seen?
Well, one, I think Vivint starts with God, right?
Yeah, it does.
So prayer.
Right?
People want to talk about a bubble.
Oh, there you go. So they start every day with a prayer, huh?
They got a bubble of energy over that company when the right people were in it, right?
Right.
They're praying where to go. What's their next move? Bless this guy. Guess what? Blessings happen. You asked for them. So, company's different nowadays, in my opinion. But I got lucky.
Yeah. Tell us your story about how you joined Vivint.
Truthfully, my brothers used to do it for 2-3 years, and they'd call me, hey, we're having a great time out here. They just pitched the kind of lifestyle they had. We do this when we want. We go here. We do this. We play games. We hang out as a team. We're a family environment. Come try this. I'm like, what do you do? And they're like, I knock doors. I was like, cool. I have a real job. I make, $30 an hour. I have a company vehicle.
Cool.
I know. Also,
That's
Other
pretty good
people-
money. I mean, people.
Dino's gonna watch this, and Ken and I know they will watch it, and they'll be like, "Hey, your life wasn't easy. You had to go through the real grind." But I worked for I was working for them. They thought that was a grind. I was working another job full time at the time. But I know they'll watch it and say it. But yeah, so I was working hard, and honestly, I was with a girl that would spend the money in not good ways. And I would spend the money in not good ways because I didn't want to go home to her. Yeah, whatever that meant. Like, wherever I could have a hotel, it didn't matter. But a lot of money went away from just not wanting to go home at night. So
That
Christmas
sucks.
rolls around, and she didn't show up. And we'd driven to Reno. And I was like, "Where? It's Christmas. You went out. You'll be home in the morning. Where are you?" And so like my brothers are like, "You're gonna stick around for that? Just come with us. Just come with us. Where are you going?" "Oh, we're going to work, but have we ever told you anything but fun?" And I said, "All right," and I hopped in the car after they talked to me for 12 hours. Started driving. I was like, "We there yet? We there
Are we
yet?"
there yet?
Yeah, we drove to Utah, picked up some guys, and then they put me in this guy's Sam's car. I started driving. He's like, "Hey, since we're working together, just write down my pitch. I'm the best. I'm going to train you." And I'm like, "Who are you?" "I'm just on a vacation." And he pulls over. He's like, "Get out of my car." And he's like, "I told you to take notes. I have a sword. I have a killing, pitch. And if you can master it, you can make millions. Get out of my car because I need someone else in that's going to take notes." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll take some notes." So he was really confident. And so I just, wrote out his pitch on the
We got to give a shout out to
24-hour
Sam, Mr. Sam Taggart, over there at Door to Door Experts.
Yeah, he is a man. And he changed my life, obviously. Right? So, driving down, he told me, he told me what he does and his pitch, but I was always raised, in wrestling, and biggest takeaways was do things right, and don't ever skip steps. So, he drove me around the neighborhood. He said, "Hey, here's a Vivint, here's a names list, blah, blah, blah." But he said, "Hey, don't skip steps. Talk to the Vivint customers, hear their story, hear their why they got the alarm in the first place." But when it came to drop me off, he dropped me on literally a hill where I could have gone up or down, and it wasn't in front of a Vivint house. And so I was like, I know down below there's no Vivint. I'll walk up the hill. If I walked down that hill, I'd been just knocking all day probably. Maybe I would have sold a couple, but I walked up to Vivint. They told me about their break-in and the gang members and where they lived and how Emma had moved in and she was a school teacher, and they directed me to her, and it was a very easy sell because I was 100% confident.
Ooh, got that referral chicken hawk. We call that a chicken hawk in the roofing business.
Yeah, and it was like, well, I knew she needed
another
it.
person's customer, got a referral from, got in their turf, and got you a deal.
Yeah, and I told her, the story and why she needed it and why I was there. And she wasn't so sure, but I was because I knew, and so did the neighbors. So when
That's your fucking method.
Yeah.
The name list and the way that you use the name list. There's a lot of different takeaways, but I think your
list is
style,
everything.
I think the way, we did a YouTube episode. We're producing it right now where we had a contest. And in this contest, I'm knocking doors, and I go into this house, and I judge it. I don't go to the front door because it looks like a hoarder lives there. And then Jared, next thing we know, is closing the guy. We're up on the roof. It's got damage. It gets closed for.
I just wanted his name.
He went 4 for
'cause I knew
4
people
that
knew.
day, and it's that idea that you don't skip steps.
Yeah.
And he's got this method, and for me, I think the method is positive persistence.
Yeah.
I think that I get in a hurry and I get aggressive, and a lot of times there's very confident, good salespeople, but to be the very best, you have to know when to reel it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And so,
that's why I'm different.
One of the things you told me was it's like I can hear what people are thinking. So,
I feel like
what do you do when they're like, "Get off my porch, dude"? Like, come on.
Well, because of that, I usually know there's something going on. Maybe it was domestic that day. So I'm really good. The difference between good and great is being efficient. So I'm efficient because I know when to leave.
Oh, nice.
And I know when to come back, right? And there's some people I will stay till the end of the day. Doesn't matter if they buy or not. I'm there because I need that deal. Other people will stay at the end of the day to the person that when they get on that name list, it's really just going to hurt them. You know, I'll get that person at the end just because of everyone else that's on my name list.
Name list is about putting everybody's name on a list and using it in a special way. Let's talk to them about closing with a name list and using it to get your foot in the door.
Oh, yeah. So everything's the same in sales. Everyone needs to trust you. So, and then like any event, you're selling an event, a UFC fight. Well, who's fighting? Why do I want to buy my ticket? Right? Are they legit?
Right.
I'll read at my name list every day. You know, I meet the mayor and I say, hey, man, I need you at the top of my list. You see who's at the top right here? The farmer. Everyone loves him. I need you at the top. And so, like, and I'll come from towns and I say, hey, you know, this was my last one. What do you guys think? Here's my blank sheet here. What name needs to be at the top? Would you like it to be you? Should I go talk to someone else and come back to you? But yeah, it's a shield.
Yeah, it's a takeaway, and it's you know, whenever you say, hey, look, we want to make sure you're not left out. A lot of times people know me for the No Roof Left Behind campaign. It's a nice little thing you say you like to use it every once in a while. Throws them off.
I got a lot of one-liners. I got a whole Lee has a very lot of one-liners because he's been
You do it
living
for
this life
roofing,
forever.
solar, and alarms. I got a lot of them for roofing. But
Growth and marketing.
and marketing and high ticket closing for sure. You know, kind of brings me to, you know, like, I want to hear about these crazy numbers. 'Cause we have a guy this year, a guy, shout out to Kevin and Yvette. They're going to do probably 350 to 400 roofs. Sell, build, collect. They have a system. You and your wife could definitely, if you went head to toe, Kevin and Yvette, you would have very much a thoroughbred to race up against because, you know, they work together and basically they're always, there's a system and good time management and there's a good discipline to it. But reality is they're going to do about 350 roofs this year. So it's going to equal $5 million in sales, and that's no commercial or no tile. So in their first year, and that's probably going to equate to 12% times 5. So I would say
How long have they been doing it?
it's going to equate to about 600 to 700,000 in sale and
How long
commissions.
have they been doing this?
They're freaks. They had sales experience. They were already really good, and both of them have door-to-door backgrounds, but not in really career-wise. One was in car business, and Yvette's just got a winning personality. She was actually a Jehovah's Witness, but she came in with him, and they're actually getting married soon. But you know, the truth is that these kind of numbers of 350 roofs in a year are from a system, from systematic time management, from day-to-day management, from energy management. Talk to me about your biggest years, your biggest numbers. You know, you were blowing my guy's mind when we were telling him how you made 10,000 in a day.
Well, the numbers aren't that big. My numbers, I want them to double, personally. So I'm upset with my numbers. Really, that's the truth, though. So it is hard for me to set goals because if you don't hit them, it's like, wow.
So 300 accounts is not the goal?
No, man, I wanted to be doing 45 a week.
Oh, shit.
Personally. And that's why sometimes I'll have a bad week because I'll go out with a high goal. And Mondays are most important because I want to start on top. I want to be ahead. So sometimes I can get affected mentally if I'm on track to hit 20s. I'm like, you know, anyways, my goal and my numbers aren't that big. I want to hit a lot more. So, but the way to get there and the way where I'm like, hey, I don't know if I can compete with those guys if I was to do that because I wouldn't skip a step. I would eventually be bigger and better, of course, because I would do the process. but I wouldn't skip to get there, and a lot of guys would.
Let me ask you this question. You know, you said to me, Lee, I hate knocking on doors. What do you mean by that?
Well, I hate knocking on doors because I love people, and once I can win a person and get to know them, I can go back to them, or I can spend a lot of time with them.
Right.
And people think I don't leave houses and I'm a super pushy salesman, but no, I get a lot of thank yous when I'm leaving. Like, hey, I my wife asked me if I want lobster or shrimp or filet mignon. I couldn't decide. I'm super glad you helped me decide because you're an expert in what you do. But you're way different. They always tell me, you're way different than any other salesman. You're not pushy. You're not cocky. You're not like a muscly guy trying to bulldoze me into anything. And I'm like...
You look at me sideways when you say that.
Yeah.
I was being a little bit ridiculously... sometimes it's kind of fun for the YouTube.
But that's where it comes back to, like, the real truth is, like, yeah, because I would throw that muscly guy around. I'll toss his ass like no tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was born... I wrestled. I was born in a big family. Paul Walker held the Golden Gloves, right? I'm related to him in the Navy, right? And then... just my uncle grew up with John Langan and some of these guys that used to fight with Hoist Gracie and like basically was bred into like fight or die.
Nice.
Like, with big brothers and family. So like, yeah, for sure. I want to be a killer always.
But also a killer at providing, giving back to the world. You had a big mission. You got a big mission to give back to kids. You know, talk to us a little bit about, isn't it the acts of service a really big part of the Mormon religion? And
So it's a big part of how I was raised. So I was raised by my dad and my mom, but my dad's like, he was a big door-to-door guy. He did newspapers. Hey, if I don't go door-to-door to collect my money, I don't get paid. Mm-hmm. He sold mistletoe door-to-door every winter when he was little. We did too. We made a ton of money, hey. My dad would take us up there and we'd cut the tree and, we'd sell them for $5 a pop. And,
nice.
Everywhere. And it was a lot of money. And then you just sell
what a great
bags
lesson
of
for your kids.
To kids that want to make money. So I'm like, you could go cut it yourself, but here you go. And then we just like get people selling it for us as well as like stores. And it was usually the stores that you want to give back to, like they want to give back, and like church people really like always had our stuff.
You were talking to me about another lesson your dad taught you. He's a painting contractor, and you were talking about doing extra acts of service. Talking about when you're on a job and how overall that would turn into referrals and growth in the future.
Oh yeah, so quality matters is his thing, and so he always does good quality. But like I said, in church, he wasn't the guy that was leading the church, but he's a guy they call when the old lady needs help or someone's moving, right? He's a guy that gets it done. He's a service guy, and he takes care of people. I just remember, I started working with my dad. I was young, all the time. I worked with him a lot. So, like, out of all my brothers, too, like, we were side by side a lot, which turns into, growing together, arguing, everything. But
how many brothers and sisters you got?
I got 4 brothers, 2 sisters. Big family. And then my parents...
We want them all in the roofing business. What's up, guys?
My parents met each other and decided right then and there. That's kind of how I was with my wife. I feel like that's how my brother is. Like when we know, we know. Because you can really read people, like I said. But yeah, my dad, he had this U-Haul that could do everything. So he's moving the people, he's building stuff, but we would be driving home and there were certain people he just didn't knock on their door and ask. He'd just get out and start doing their yard. He's got the blower, he's got the rake, he's got the shears. They're old, their yard looks like poop. They live in the same neighborhood generally, usually, but he would do it anywhere. But those old people would call him for jobs and he didn't have a problem charging them mass amounts of money because he knew his quality was there. Just in general as a person, but also it paid off. Like, they'd be on a job and he's painting this house, maybe charging $20,000 or something, a lot of money. And the neighbor's house has got trash all over it. And he's making this person look real, real good. So he'd always go fix up the neighbor's yard for him if it was like that, or go over and do some yard work at the neighbors where he's not making money. But in the long run, when my brother Jordan needed to go on a mission, guess what? Everyone was willing to pay mass amounts of money, and he had them all lined up. He knew where they were, who they are, what they needed, and it was only because he went and put in a little service and a little time. And my brother paid for his mission real quick.
I want to unpack this for a second, because a lot of people don't really understand what it means to go on a mission. They don't understand you have to raise capital. They don't understand how it breeds such a successful person. I mean, you know, it's one of the reasons why I want to be a Mormon, because I want my kids to be on a mission, but, you know, I'm not quite all there. So tell me a little bit about the mission and what it did for you and your
Well, it's like anything. You are what you hang out with. Mm-hmm. So they send them out there, and they make them hang out with just each other. And they have to be by each other all the time. Is it so they not do bad things? Sure, but this person's good and this person's good, and you'll get qualities from each one. Mm-hmm. But
so when their kids are 18 years old, you had to raise a certain amount of money, and then they sent you to a group.
Oh, I didn't serve a mission, but my siblings served missions. But yeah, they would raise money. Uh-huh. Some parents will pay for it, but because of my dad's service, when it came time to raise money, that was done like day one. A lot of people can't raise money for their mission and work years. They will put a mission off for a few years because they can't get the funds. The day one was there, and then they're putting money away, all because of the little service projects my dad did. And I'm telling you the truth. And I was part of it, you know, servicing. So I helped them in the long run too, because a lot of times when my brothers weren't with me and my dad, I worked with them a lot.
Heck yeah, man. So, you know, the big idea is there's so many people in solar that don't know how roofing works. There's so many people in alarms that don't understand. Mm. There's a lot of old roofs. We can pull a wind and hail history report on any roof and see if it has damage, to see if it's covered by the insurance company. Plus, we offer like very good interest rates, 0% interest, financing for roofs. There's a lot of different times when people just finance the roof or pay cash for the roofs. Roofs are expensive. Roofs and solar really go together hand in hand. And this idea, when I first got to know people, when Facebook groups and door-to-door tribe really kind of came together, you know, it's like, man, this community needs someone to help bring them into this roofing space that there's not as much knowledge about. And there's a little bit more to learn. You know, you learn about how to be a contractor. You learn about, you know, how to deal with insurance companies. You learn how to really kind of build your own business. It's not for every just door-to-door guy. But tell me why right now you like roofing best. Now, that's what you said. You like roofing best, right?
Yeah.
What do you, be honest with me.
It's a no-brainer.
Compare it to solar. Why not solar?
I don't like giveaways, for one. There's always an ulterior motive or whatever. They're giving money away. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's to put a hole in your roof, right? Stamp it all across the nation. We'll pay you to do it. And you'll actually save money, but you'll be homeless in 20 years because you don't have a roof over your head. And not only that, it'll just be easy to put you in a group housing and a big building at that point, and we'll be able to control the population. But that's just me thinking.
There's going to be a lot of people not be able to pay their solar debt, and then people are going to get the
I believe in solar, but why are we putting it on the roofs? Why is it not on the driveway? Why isn't you can make it somewhere else to be efficient?
It's on the roof because it's tied to the home and the home's equity, so the bank can repossess the home.
Yeah. I hear you. Just like there's got to be something out there, and so if you're gonna do solar, you better have the roofer closing the deal, and you better have the roofer installing it, and you better have the best roofer to work on your roof in the future. So I think, but besides that, well, a buddy of mine just did a $30 million deal. He's going to make some stacks. And shout out to Tyler Melton out of Proclaim. He pitched an apartment investor, and they were able to save them money on their monthly power bill. They were able to have them tap into the tax credits. They were able to get approval. Now, for an investor, there's going to be tax benefits in the interest for the loan. There's also going to be tax benefits in the write-off of the 26% at $30 million. Yeah. But you've also got
a value add opportunity that he pitched. He brought in a partner that actually had a lot of multifamily experience, like your brother, and explained how with cap rates, how if the apartment owner would start to just incorporate the energy into the monthly bill and then raise the rent, and then also save money at the same time while tapping into the tax credits.
Those ones are the
This
best.
is a billionaire. This is a freaking billionaire. Okay, so the solar, when billionaires make $30 million investments, that's when my eyes start to pay attention.
Those are the people that need it too, because the more power you use, the more they charge, right? So they could buy these solar panels for whatever cost at that point, because they're not being charged these insane rates by the power company.
So that's what gets me pumped up is, I've got to talk to some of my commercial people, and for me, getting into the commercial solar game and then selling a solar right after the roof, we've got 5,000 roofs, and we're selling them all solar. We're in the process of, we're going to be one of the major players in the United States in the solar in the next 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. We're first going to take over the state of Florida, then through the Sky Diamonds network are literally going to take over the entire map. But the thing is that roofing and solar together go hand in hand. Talk to me a little bit about why you like the storm damage so much.
No, like I said, roofing. What's most important in your life? Usually family. I hope for you, and then your best investment usually is your home or property. A lot of people get lucky here or there, but traditionally over time, having a house is a good thing, and it's usually their number one asset and their number one investment, and they want to keep that roof over their number one asset and appreciate it. And so, when we're going into these neighborhoods, it's really hard to knock someone's door with a good roof. This is another thing, like skipping steps. Like if I have a team of 20 guys that go to the best roof in the neighborhood and say, hey, I need you to help me, right? I'm going to help you by raising the value of your home, by making your house, the house next door, not look like trash. Obviously, you're the man, right? Your house is bringing up the value of everyone else's. And, because like you were asking about social media, can be a good thing in this time. What is knocking doors done? Oh, no. I come in there, boom. If I got 20 of those guys backing me online in that neighborhood, all I got to do is show up. And you do have to show up, Not everyone knows what they want for dinner. Not everyone's going to make that phone call to you. But if you can find them and help them and give them that filet mignon or, that whatever they want, figure out what their wants and needs are.
Yeah, and that's what differentiates me. I'm not the door-to-door expert. I am the guy that combines door-to-door and digital marketing. See, geo-targeting the neighborhood, putting a 2-mile radius, doing the videos, the testimonial videos, the build videos, and then not only knocking all the doors with the door-to-door sales team, but using a tool that Penn drops the best roofing candidates and then calls them with an inside sales center, sends them a piece of direct mail. It's this coordinated attack between an air force, a technology force, a door-to-door force that is the modern, I would call it the blue-collar marketing method, and I don't see anyone else executing it the way we do, but I can also say there's a lot of people in my network that I've helped implement this same strategy that are killing it all across the country. No contractor fails. And if you're watching this and you want to grow, you want to build a door-to-door sales team, you want more leads, then go to themooncontractor.com, check out 5 case studies. And, one thing about it, a lot of different people are wondering what expert to pick, what contractor to pick, and there's a lot of good information.
Pick them all.
Pick them all. You learn a little bit of this, learn a little bit of that. I will say that one thing we excel at is the ability to deliver results in generating people, generating leads, and helping those people get to being $1 million producers. And that's where a lot of, the rubber meets the road. A lot of times you go coach companies, they don't treat your recruits with enough time. They don't go out. You got this. I've coached a lot of companies. You've coached companies. Here's some things you've told me your complaints about. You'll go to do door-to-door training for the sales team, but the sales manager will say, just train my guys.
Yeah, train my guys.
Or maybe, how does that, what do you have to say to you think those guys?
Well, like, I just bring it back to like what we did, it was all family. And our most important meetings were the leaders. And not only to like make them better, it's not always training, it's their hard meetings, keeping them in check, being fair. But really, like, pride comes out, so you end up hearing all the, greatest accomplishments. Hey, I want this lead because I'm closing them. Well, you got all the easy ones. What do you mean they're easy? I did it, and I get all their stories or whatever. And so like all these, I'm going to a lot of companies, and they're like, here's my new guys. They don't know what's going on. You need to train. And I'm like, huh. So like if I invest with them real hard, personally, and make them really good, they're gonna leave you because they're already gonna be better than you. Why not invest in your top dudes and really make them like sit through the ringer and come with me so that can trickle down? Because guess what? They're here. They've been here. They know what's up. They're going to see my biggest, closes, or they're going to recognize it more than a new guy. The new guy's like, wow, that was amazing. I guess you just talk to everyone and get a deal. I'm like, what? Yeah, sure. Talk to everyone. But no, you didn't recognize this, and this. But either way, I think my biggest takeaway is these companies aren't doing enough manager meetings, and enough like check your managers, as well as like you area too is a big thing. Like,
okay, so every morning at door-to-door church, if I'm talking to one of my offices, I want to know how many deals are you going to sell today? I want to know, was there a role play in the office? I want to know, are you assigned to a 200 to 300 man area? I want to gamify it. I want to match this guy up, this guy. I want to have a board where whatever your daily declaration or goal, it's recorded at the end of the day. Now, the thing is, you got to call them. You got to be in the neighborhood with them. What we see, though, that contractors that want a hardcore door-to-door result, they're unwilling to pay the hardcore door-to-door price. See, the last week, have knocked on doors every single day this week, except for today. Yesterday, I had people in little bitty houses screaming to get the F off of their yard. I had women putting hands on me, pushing me off their porch. Look,
and I got the whole neighborhood backing me.
Yeah, and he's got the whole neighborhood 4 for 4. We got like a couple deals.
I'm 100%. Day before, 100% too. Okay,
so here's the deal. If you're in door-to-door, like, if you're not, you got to get into the mode. And I'm in CEO mode a lot, and I'm in Lee's Mr. Important Guy mode a lot. So Jared's in seasoned door-to-door mode. He's been running a tour, helping contractors and helping solar guys and so he comes in here and he's patient. He's got a little bit more positive confidence, a little bit more. He knows when to back it off a little bit more. And that one little detail, even though I have all the skills, I know what to say, but it's always about being open-minded and willing to change and adapt and realize, okay, I got to take my foot off the gas pedal a little bit.
Your tone too. Sometimes, hey, so like, let me just tell you, come here. But like the tones changing will really bring them in. It will build emotion through that. And so like, I'm really good at that. Really good at it. When needed, talk.
You are really good at it. It's really hard to teach. It's by talking softly, you have to lean into the conversation. And it also makes him, he's very, very, when he's selling, people probably are not threatened at all. And you use that.
Oh, it's all, yeah. Because one, like I said, I have a name list, right? So I'm looking for certain people. And so really I want to see if they're the right person for me to spend time with. I'll always come back to people where a lot of people won't go back. I went to Mayor, some of them 7 times, but I knew I needed him. And in the long run, like, we ended up saving his house. It's a long story, but he got it installed and he saved his house. But everyone else wanted me to set him up too. And he had an alarm. He's overpaying. Like, he had problems. So I fixed them. But like, a lot of people wouldn't have gone back. But like, I'll come back to also, maybe like a drug addict that inherited their house from their parents, but they're on the insurance or whatever, on a roof or whatever. Ran into it the other day, and
the hoarder that you closed at the end of the day.
Yeah,
he was actually pretty reasonable. The guy wasn't that guy wasn't that crazy, really.
No, he wasn't. He was super legit.
I know.
And I figured he had.
Did you go inside that house?
No, but I think.
Thank God, dude.
I think it's cleaner inside.
I hope so.
He's hoarding the cars, and he doesn't like yard work. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
But he seemed like he got it together. Yeah, it's just being efficient with time and knowing, like, if I really ran into who you thought was there,
yeah,
like the normal hoarder or hippie or whatever, I'd have left.
Yeah.
But I had a little bit of conversation with the guy, and he asked
the guy
a lot
had
of
some
buying
nice
questions.
cars. They were just a little older. I mean, they weren't in terrible shape. So he was obviously had a little bit of money. So I thought the same thing. I'm sitting here and Nick's like, dude, what are you going to get shot with a shotgun back there? And I'm like, you're probably right, dude. This guy's going to hit me with a gust of cat urine and I'm going to get a shotgun
He
shoved
was
in
a
my
tough
face.
one, too. I mean,
Yeah.
like, we make him mad. He may be doing that. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But, here's the deal. Guys don't understand that you do have to jump in door to door head in. You have to, as the owner, set the pace. You have to show people that you're willing to take out the trash, and that if some days it calls for you being in the field, that's one thing that I had to kind of get my door to door heartbeat back. I went Orlando, Tampa, and I made a whole bunch of episodes for y'all to be paying attention out in the field. And we're gonna make another one. We're gonna make another one tomorrow, and we'll do me versus you this time.
You have to. You have to be a leader by
this
example.
time I'm gonna peel it back. I've got 2 or 3 days to get in my routine now, and we'll get each other mic'd up, and we'll go for a power 2-hour session. And how many deals can we get in 2 hours?
Well, it really depends. I'm not leaving one for another. So, but that's the thing. Like, I am competitive and I want to win. So maybe it'll mess up my day. But the truth is, like, sometimes, what I meant by that is a lot of people will watch other people as they're performing and make sure they're doing their best. But if you really watch what you're doing and you're like doing it the right way and you're giving your best, one, sells a transfer of energy. You you feel good about your hard work, and you feel good about yourself, you'll sell. But you start watching other people, you'll feel bad that you're not doing as good as them. Maybe they're hey, they've been doing this 10 years, I'm outperforming them. I guess I'm just good, I don't have to work that hard. Guess what? You slack off, you don't feel good, and then everything just blows up in the wrong way, because you start feeling like, hey, I'm not giving it my all. So like, if you watch yourself, you judge yourself off you will perform, because it is energy. And that's why, like, sometimes my competitive edge, like, I'm like, I want to do 40 this week. I had my worst week, and it happened this last summer. They asked me, I felt like I was rolling. I felt like I could hit it. But I ended up doing, like, I don't know, 15, maybe, I don't know. First week was my worst week, because I do things right too. I went to the neighborhoods that I wanted to work. I went to the people around town, right? I've been there before. I visited them. Some of the richest people had moved on from our system. Great. Had I not took the routes around, I wouldn't have had them on my name list.
Well, this is a very important thing to think about. Vivint's got this very extensive CRM where you can see past customers, and he's got assigned sales rep back into territories to rework neighborhoods, and they're crossing every single home off the list, and it's territory management and high-level follow-up, dude. That's what I'm saying. Most of these companies are not even close to that. And so, one of the things, I'm going to give a shout-out to Hail Recon. Hail Recon has a really good tool at doing a hail wind history report, letting us draw a map to track our canvassing and assign our areas, track our leads, pulls good phone number information.
Makes you efficient.
And so it makes me efficient, because it automatically enter the lead into our CRM, and then we could, just use the whole thing right there as the whole little lead creator. But, the one thing I'm really, really excited about is the people that are watching this. You're gonna see more of Jared. He's gonna be more on my channel doing these door-to-door blitzes. We just went out 3 days in a row, and we shot some epic content. And what we did is, every single day, you didn't even get a chance to knock 50 doors in a day. You had so many people telling you yes.
Why would you?
I don't know. Yesterday, you probably didn't even knock 8 doors.
I knocked 4.
You knocked 4 doors, and you closed 4 deals.
Yeah.
And one of the deals was a metal roof that was already done.
Oh, so that was another thing. I said, hey, don't skip steps. I begged everyone. I said, there's 20 of us. We're going out to area. Imagine if you had 20 people backing you on a social media, on a page. And when we got there, I don't know who went to a nice roof and someone that they couldn't sell. But the guy I was working with said, hey, why are we going here? Literally, this guy has a brand new metal roof. Why are you going here? And You kept saying it all the way up to, the guy at the door, like, why are we here? I'm giving this guy my pitch, like, help me help you. I'm a master at this. This is what I do. And he had rental properties. I'm like, my man, like, I knew I came here for a reason. But, like, everyone else skipped that house, right? And I'm the one that got and it should lead to more deals, right, in the future. But everyone else skipped it. Not only that, but had another person skipped a step and knocked and been rude to someone or had a bad experience. Like I said, the social media, the first day we were out in area, I knocked one door, but I was a little later on getting up there because we were working out. But we were already on blast on social media. Now, that's a problem, but I'm a problem solver. So if I can overcome that problem by doing the job right, I'm going to win and the customer's going to win because I'm not doing the wrong thing. And if I am, I'm going to find another job, right? I'm doing the right thing. I'm raising the value of their neighborhood. They've been paying these insurance.
Which brings me to an important point. Door-to-door guys are always trying to find the right company. They're always bouncing around a little bit. You had some loyalty with Vivint. Vivint was a great company, but you left that company.
Yeah, I work at Door-to-Door Experts. Sam left.
Why do you leave a company?
Oh, well, everyone
why do you leave that company? Just why do door-to-door sales reps?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Everyone else did. And like I said, like the power of the people, the wolf pack, right? I want to be around those people. We were talking to someone today. He's like, well, you think you're the best, but you're not doing this, this, and this. I'm like, put me back next to them. I'll learn their steps. And that's why I love door-to-door is the real reason is I get to learn from everyone. And I'm getting little things from everyone. Like the first day, I remember someone told me not to chew gum because of this, this, and this. And I just got, it's not like I don't chew gum, but I know what type of people don't like it. And he told me situations that he had bad experience. And so that was my first day knocking, right? And he was telling me about big deals he'd lost when he was chewing gum and what happened in his little story. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do because I felt like I wanted to do everything. And I do. I'm like, I love doing everything, and I think I'm good at a lot of things. A lot of people would joke with me, hey, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. I'm like, yeah. But my mastery is actually learning all these trades and giving it to other people, so I want to be a coach, right? That's why I'm doing what I do. I want to coach all these people because I can read people really well. I can learn what's best and what's bad, but I don't pay attention to the bad. I don't even remember it. By the time we leave each other, if you did something bad, I don't remember. Because why would I? And people ask me, how many people do you sell? 100%? Yeah, because why would I remember every other one? I'm writing my name list down every day, right? I remember this story, Emma, or teacher here, Officer Mario Castillo, right? He's my second deal. Like, I still remember them because I wrote them down for so long.
Dude, I'm telling you, look, I hooked you up with a guy here in Naples, put you in an apartment here. His name's Leslie. He's a great door-to-door guy, but sometimes, you go through things in life where it's hard to have that light. He dealt with a death in his family and
long-distance relationship.
All kinds of things. Moved his whole life here. And so you came in and he's back on his mojo now, man. He got a chance to have a 10-deal week.
Yeah.
10 deals in a week. So talk to me about, how you take the training from in the classroom to demonstrating it.
Oh, this is a great one.
Yeah.
No, like bringing that up. Why was I so good yesterday? Right? I was helping. It helps.
Yeah,
it helps you. You struggle? Go help him.
Right.
You got to be the man for him. You'll show up.
Yeah.
And you'll remember where you were good. So I'm like, boom. That's the way my dad did it. But whenever I'm struggling, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm not selling that well. I only got one guy following me. I need 3. Or, hey, I'm suffering. I'm struggling on roofs. Who is really having the most trouble as far as a roofing company? I'm going there. And I'm going to give it my all for them because I know they need it. And then I get back on my game. But if I just focus on me, it's hard. You know, you don't really like better anyone by focusing only on yourself. So yeah, if you're struggling, this kid has me. That's where I was trying to bring it up. I'll give a shout out to that kid because he's one of the, I meet a lot of salesmen. He's a young kid, but he's one of the most mentally tough kids I've ran into. Mentally tough. And, you know, he was part of our team. Another guy, you know, recruited him. And I love the kid because he was so mentally strong. Never really worked with him too much. I gave him everything I could under the ropes. Mm-hmm. And we obviously knocked together and trained, and he's heard me. But he was struggling, you know, this last week. Sold 0. So I said, go help someone else. Duh. Like, if you're struggling, you know, go help someone else. And he's just like, oh, yeah, I'm getting my mind back. Thanks so much, blah, 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 blah. But I was just like, just thinking about that. And I know he went and helped, and he's getting his stuff back together. But he's just focused on him when he was doing negative. And now he's like, right, he's talking to God like, I suck. And he's hearing it. If he's talking to God like, hey, please let me help this guy because I'm good, well, you're good again.
Hey, that's the power of attraction, the law of attraction, law of attention, all in action, dude. The thing is like, you can tell, man, you really care about this job, this trade, people, that emotion when you're in the field. Whenever you can get that enthusiastic and that passionate about helping people, it's just got an energy where things come to you. And the real thing about anything in life is, if you want your goals, your 10-year goals, and you want them in this year, you want them in half the time, you're going to have to find a way to expand on that kind of feeling, that kind of energy, because whenever you have so much gratitude, tears of joy, whenever you're so excited, that you're so grateful, that your body, you give yourself goosebumps. You know, a lot of times I'm not out in the field capable of doing that in the field, and one probably unfair advantage Jared has is he's sitting in here tapping into this force while he's out in the streets. And, you know, that's just about, you know, it's not just mental strength, but it's also discipline, because a lot of that strength comes from the creator. It comes from God. It comes from the best version of ourselves. And, you know, Omar episode is the most successful or the best roofing salesman ever, because he can sell 400 roofs in a year. And he has the same eternal optimism and beam around him. My guy Tyrone, he's in the business, and he's not a Mormon, but he listens to gospel music during the day. He's all hyped up.
Whatever religion, it's all the same to me. Like I said, you know, God lives in all of us, and I think you could be a prophet, but that'd be a hell of a commitment. But like when they're like, "Hey, is the church 100% true?" and the Mormon, I'm like, well, what were the old prophets doing?
Well,
right? They were,
in my mind, every human is up
on buildings. Is
a human being.
Why aren't they on social media more? Why aren't they?
I'm just a sinner that's saved. So if it's me, obviously it's not 100% true. Anything that comes from a person can't be 100% true, because it's not.
If the law of abundance is there, why don't you spend your money on advertising for the church? And so like, but yeah, that's like a battle that everyone fights.
I mean, in my mind, I am here to be of service to the blue-collar entrepreneur, the working class. And there's a lot of people that may not make it with technology and with inflation and socialism and the fact that they're printing money like it's going out of style, and what could happen if there is another war. You know, my point is that, you know, I felt like they eliminated a lot of the population. I felt like that, you know, the powers to be made a ton of profit off a ton of people's deaths. And I felt like it was a warm-up for the future. So I feel very strongly that my mission to help blue-collar entrepreneurs build financial freedom, to not just build it in their financial life, but do it through roofing, restoration, solar, do it through improving their mind, body, and spirit. And a lot of times I've been assigned the renegades, the outlaws. Some of us are junkies, alcoholics. Some of us are con men. And
if they can get addicted,
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a perfect human being. I've made 100,001 mistakes in my life, but I try to do the next right thing every time. I try every single day to say this prayer. Myron Golden taught me of it. It's like, God, give me the wisdom to serve the people you put me on this earth to serve in the way that you want me to serve them. and it's King Solomon's prayer in Myron's version. And, for me, I do feel like that my platform is not mine. It's ours. And it's for door-to-door guys, solar guys, roofing guys, general contractors, people that want to jump into the modern day gold rush.
When you were talking about people's problems, everyone has a problem. I'm like, my dad's perfect. He's bipolar. He doesn't know it. But he is not bipolar because he beats it by working hard. And people can beat sickness by going to work. And whatever it is.
It's funny. Sometimes my dad's a little bit bipolar. He's got a lot of issues, and I've had a lot of issues being bipolar myself.
You're happy.
But I'm not going to define myself as ADD or bipolar, because you know what? At times I'm the most focused when I'm writing a book while running a company, while coaching tons of people. Like, how do you do it? How do you do all this shit? It's like, not because my ADD became my superpower, that I could focus on finishing multiple things. I can start a lot of projects, and I could literally start up 7 projects and go back and finish each one.
I thought when I was a kid, legitimately, I was allergic to the chair in the class. I would come home and tell my mom, I'm like, I'm allergic.
I'm allergic to the chair.
I itch like crazy. I can't sit in it.
I itch like crazy.
I thought it was like I was allergic to it. And school was like hardish. Like if I was really there, I mean, I could retain it pretty well, right? I got a really good memory. But I wanted out. I'm like, dude, I could do a million things right now when I was just a kid, and I'm allergic to this thing. It's making me sick. But
everyone had a great idea.
Everyone's different.
Now that we're having a big year, we just had a huge quarterly meeting, a huge blue collar boot camp. Look, my company is going to break and surpass all goals that we've ever thought we could even do this week. I mean, this year, but it hadn't even scratched the surface till I know where we're going. My point is, the more that we do, the more we need to give. And one of the things that I really feel like that I should give is I want to help somebody really in need that's willing to do the work, that may be struggling. I'll tell you a story. My first roofing professionals network, this is our partnership that goes way beyond just a mastermind, was a friend of mine's parents. And basically, Clyde was one of my first success stories. He grew his business from $500,000 to $5 million. He had a business called the LOA Construction, Law of Attraction Construction. And him and one of his buddies who got sober together, they created a business. And Clyde was one of the first people that bought my very expensive coaching package. And when he bought it, I said, Clyde, I don't know if you're ready for this. You're not even $1 million contractor yet. And he said, Lee, I promise you I'm ready for it. And so he bought this program, and his company blew up because he followed my methods. He built the door-to-door team. He created videos that created leads. He grew his business, and probably within 4 or 5 months, the leads turned into jobs. The door-to-door sales team started getting successful, and they were doing 30 to 40 roofs a month within, 6 months. This business has doubled and continued to grow and is still a staple. But what happened was, along the way, I guess pride comes before the fall. I guess sometimes we all have our demons, and the world has a lot of forces. In success, there's a saying I got from Dabo Sweeney. It's like the bright lights of success. Once people start paying attention to you, once the pressure is put on you, you better make sure the light inside of you is as bright as the light that you're stepping into. And as I get into a bigger stage and the lights are brighter and brighter, I realize that my relationship with God has to improve, that my physical condition has to improve, that my happiness has to be at a point where I can take all the pressure, because Clyde wasn't doing the things that he needed to do to make himself happy for whatever reason. He let the stresses of growing the business, he let the stresses of money, I gave up my finances to God 5 years ago, and I still struggle with it. But, I think he bared a lot of that burden on himself, and so he relapsed. And he didn't do it on purpose, but he passed away due to a drug overdose. And this guy that was a breath of light, a brand new best friend and great case study of my program, he's actually one of 3 people in my program, not just like my mastermind program, but my coaching program, that passed away due to drug overdose. A lot of roofers out there do the drugs, alcohol, and I've partied hard my whole life, and I'd be crazy to say that I'm not one of the same guys. But I've also learned that you've got to, my dad used to teach me about moderation. Well, there's some things that you just abstain from, and you just really understand the power of what things can do to you. And maybe I'm just blessed that I don't have those same demons. But my point is I do feel a calling to. It was amazing. His mom, a year later, saw one of his billboards, LOA Construction. First call was me. And she said, I want to start a company. Before he passed away, he was going to start a company with us. He was going to start a new company with his mom before he passed away. And that it's because the company he was with, he had a business partner, and he sold the business to the business partner. He wanted to do it on his own. And so long story there, but there was a lot of stress involved. And him and his mom and his father-in-law were going to start a business. And so a year after he passed away, they started that business after they joined our Roofing Professionals Network. They came to this boot camp that we did recently. They learned stuff, and they went and completed the obstacles. And I gave her a battle axe because she showed so much courage. And I will tell you, David, her husband, did this bear crawl, and it almost killed him. But he pushed himself to the end, okay? And he was willing to do it, and in remembrance of Clyde and for their company, and as a testament to show them that whatever they were willing to do, it was the work they were willing to do. Time out. Today, they closed a 78 square roof. I told them we're going to go back. Clyde's dad was a salesman. I told him we can get Eldon. We can get Eldon back on the team. They got Eldon back on the team. Out of nowhere, this big job comes along, 78 square job. So we're just getting them all the things set up, and they land their first projects. They get their first sales rep. They have momentum, all because they followed their heart. And I had a moment when they were here that I felt Clyde's presence a lot. I'm in meditation a lot. I literally felt his presence to a point where I'm in my hot tub. I have my hands out, and I felt like he was right behind me. Like he was just like, man, this is it. Take care of my mom. Make sure that this goes right. That I'm pumped. This is exactly what I want. It's almost like his spirit was hanging around the earth just until we could get this thing back moving, this train back moving, and his spirit was still here, and I felt him touch my hand, and I looked at my hand, and there was a gecko on my hand, and it was just like, what? I mean, seriously, a lizard jumps on me? That never happens. And so, anyways, my point is, this is why I feel like this might not be what your version of a church is, but one of my friends, Bryce, told me that church is when two believers get together and talk about God.
Yeah.
And so that's what this was today.
Well, no, I believe a Sabbath can be when you make it, but it has to be structured. It has to be in the book, right? You have to plan it. It is your Sabbath, right? So it could be Monday for you. It could be Tuesday. But as long as the people around you have to believe in it too. You can't just do it by yourself.
I agree. And I'm not good all the time at taking a day off. And another friend of mine told me man, I just got this. I just had these voices tell you this. Just Lee, you can't be like a light that's on all the time. You have to be a light that turns off so that you can recharge, and so that you understand that a bright light all the time does not get the same attention as a light that's a strobe light that goes on and off. And yeah, I thought to myself, man, that's a really good analogy about just trying to always be fucking running at 100%.
No, for sure. And you have to have the good and the bad. And it took me a long time to realize you got to bring out the bad. I mean, the bad guy, not the nice guy all the time, not the helper. You got to lay down the law. And I'm really good at laying down the law. That's why I shy away from it. Because sometimes it can scare people away. You bring up a good point,
and this is probably the best point of the day.
The ones that need to go.
The dark side of winning. And the dark side of winning is holding the line's not fun. The dark side of winning is having the hard conversation means people talk shit, don't like you, and you stir the pot. Yeah. The dark side of winning is to go through the no's, you find crazy ones. Beyond that, the dark side of winning is sometimes the more you win, people close to you become your haters. People that are in your family are the ones that question you. People that are outside, that are 20 rows up, yeah, they're throwing tomatoes, they're talking shit, they have no idea, but sometimes it's the people questioning it at different levels. And it's so painful a lot of times that we want people to grow with us, And sometimes we outgrow people and we want to keep everybody moving. We're all changing, but sometimes there's two right answers. People go in their different paths, and you just have to let people go. And so that's very painful for me sometimes, letting go. And so, I'm just sitting here thinking,
what was it, Snoop Dogg?
What's the dark?
I was watching his Instagram thing where he's like, "Hey man, there's people up here and here. You gotta run after these guys because if you go back down, you'll never make it up. But try and keep them with you. Like, you guys climb that mountain better as two or whatever. But it's true. But like, if they're down there and you wanna, pull them along, sometimes it's better to just cut it."
Well, my mentor, Russell, he says, if you can earn more, you can give more. You can earn more, you can do more. But more importantly, yeah.
You have to like take care of yourself to take care of others. And that was another one, like being around, a lot of good people. And I'd say the most legit businessman I've been around is Jeff Mendez. Mm-hmm. Just giving him a shout out because he is.
No, I was just thinking that I want him on his
person.
I want him on this podcast. I was thinking about that actually. Last night. Actually, it's funny you say that. So we got to get him on this podcast.
But his is just why he's so legit. Is he's so on top of it and he's so on calendar, right? And how many people will work under him?
4,000 people. I need the training.
He replies.
Yeah, I know.
And it gets done.
Yeah.
So like, people can trust that it's going to get done if they are in his hands.
Uh-huh.
And because it does every time. There's no result where it just doesn't happen or it doesn't respond or puts you off. Hey, I got better things or this or that. He gets it done. And so like, I learned a lot from him. Like, just do it. Don't talk. Talk is one thing. Just do it. Make it happen. And like, you make them do it. Really, he make, I'm glad that here's the person that you need to do. And I can't wait till you tell me about the results. Like, all right, that sounds great. I guess I'm doing this thing, but, anyways, he's really legit. And that's kind of where we descended from as far as door to door is, Jeff raised a region, and then my brothers and Sam were from that region, and I'm from that region. And, they, again, were the best people I really met in a long time. And I was never a perfect Mormon, and I lived a crazy life. So coming into Utah, I was like, but there's a bubble. And it's not because the Mormon church is right. It's because they're prayer for the community, for the people, for the companies. They're praying about people, places, and things. And like you look over all these communities over time, it doesn't matter if it's Aztecs or whatever, they're praying for each other. And, there was a bubble over it. And you go visit, you maybe could even sense that energy still left behind because they were doing it right. Right? They're making a difference by talking to God who can change anything. And I think that there is a bubble over Utah, right? It seems to be where all the money's going. And it's not because the church is that great or Mormons are the thing, but like there's a lot of prayer there. And like if you come there, you might be like prayed for. It's sorry, but like it is what it is. That's why Utah's thriving, and that's why Vivint was thriving. And so I want to always surround myself with those type of people. And in the long run, I want to take all their, little things and coach.
Amen, brother. I tell you, when I go to Salt Lake, dude, I see the mountains. I feel the door-to-door energy. I feel a lot of good energy in the air. And I'm going to tell you, our RCA is setting up a location. Sky Diamond's setting up a location. We're going to be permanent in the Salt Lake City. I'm going to get me a mountain house in the mountains. I'll be snowboarding up there a lot. I'm very pumped to hang out with all the locals. Okay, I'm going to be a big part of the Utah community, and I appreciate the gospel you shared today. Because I can sense how much you care, and one thing I want to say is like it took a lot of courage to say some of the things you said, and if y'all are watching this, y'all got to connect with Jared. How can they follow you on Instagram?
I can train you guys how to sell too. That's the thing. I am the closer, period.
Like, what's your Instagram?
Jared Lee True.
Jared Lee True. Go follow him at Jared Lee.
Yeah, at JaredLeeTru.
The real deal, certified from Sky Diamonds, from Lee Haight. He's out here in the field, killing the deals.
It's all about the truth.
And we're collaborating to dominate, baby. It don't matter where you come from. You ain't got a lot to kick it. This is a real deal. I had to get him in here to the Blue Collar boardroom. We're brothers from another mother. And, last time I was in Utah, we're at the Woodward Park. We're with our families. Sam Taggart comes. He comes to hang out with us, shows up.
His little girl.
Brings his family. Not
a lot of guys who would bring, 3 kids out sledding and snowboarding. And, that's why I'm saying hard work can make you happy. Hard work can solve anything. It's hard to take 3 little kids snowboarding and sledding and deal with me being in his ear because I'm like, I love Sam, right? I want to get all the information, hang out with him, deal with, you asking him a ton of questions.
Man. And you know what? I've learned a ton from Sam. I've been on his podcast twice. He's connected me with a lot of great people, and I think he does a lot of great things for a lot of industries.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I know that roofing's the thing I've done since I was 14 years old. It goes way beyond just door to door. It's about becoming the real deal, the ability to build, to duplicate. That really is the test. And so for years, I just never wanted to be that empty suit. I always wanted to build the organization and be that level 5 leader that, truth is, we want to build the wealthiest organization in the history of roofing. And we want to do more for the community than anyone else has ever done before. And
that's the little things, it's weird to go pick up trash in these neighborhoods. And people always ask, hey, you got a card? I'm like, I'm picking up the trash. I'm not leaving it. I'm just kidding. I'm not a card or flyer guy.
I don't like the cards or flyers either. You don't need cards or flyers.
Yeah, why would I?
I got contracts.
You're asking about social media too. Like, by the time I knock your door, if I'm in your hood, you should know who I am. Otherwise, you don't have a cell phone, right? I get posted. I get in these community pages. And I use it. I don't it's not a problem. It's a problem for other people. Right? I'm fixing that problem, and it's my go-to. I'm using, everything that people might look at as like an obstacle. Things such as even in every cell, like Vivint, you have to do a recorded, it's my favorite part, right? People look at oh, whoa, we got to do this part. I'm like, yes, we got to do this. I'm going to show how legitimate I am.
All right, we're about to find out how legitimate you are. Here we go. This is the door-to-door standoff. I'm going to bust your balls. Knock my door and sell me a roof.
Oh.
Yeah, here we go. Your turn, Mr. Door-to-door expert.
One is, to be really good at this job, I need it not role play because it has to be, either you or people will always give, an objection they're an old... I got to know where I'm at.
Okay.
I got to know who you are.
You are in the same neighborhoods that we're in, and I'm one of these really old guys that knows there's no storm damage to my roof, that's so sick of the roofers, and I'm going to come to the door, and I'm going to give you a little the bald tomato. Here we go.
Oh, my man.
Just
real quick, my name's Jared. I'll be real quick.
Son?
Like I said, I'll be real quick. I'm not a card or flyer guy. Obviously, there's been a lot of them out here kind of prepping the area.
You're not a card flyer guy.
Yeah, there's been a lot of card and flyer guys out here prepping the area.
I've seen the roofers. Are you a roofer? I don't need a roof.
Is there a reason you asked that? You guys don't need a roof. I wouldn't knock on your door and try and sell you a roof, right? I'm a little bit different. Was there another roofer guy out here?
They won't stop.
They won't stop.
I don't have no damage. I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the neighbors were saying. That's exactly why I'm here. Is people like you that don't have damage, you actually pay.
But you don't understand. I don't want it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm here. Like I said, you don't want me to inspect your roof because you don't have any damage. I agree with that. That's why I'm here. So I'm not here to sell you a roof, but I am here to earn this community's business for the next 50 years. All I'm going to do is earn your business. Now, what is different? I got to be different from every other
Listen,
roofer.
son, I don't need a damn roof. I don't want a roof. I don't got the money for a roof. No, sir.
I'm going to leave. But the truth is, I would leave. Maybe. I would maybe leave. Obviously, you said you don't have money for a roof for a reason. Have you looked into prices? Right? You're saying you might
about 20,000.
Well, so obviously you know how much a roof is. So probably you've shopped around. Look, I'm saying shop around more. I'm a little different. What I'm doing is I'm inspecting your houses, and unlike other people, I'm not going to the bad houses, right? I'm not skipping those because I'm gonna.
What do you mean? My house is a good house?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a good report too. So that way, in a month or so, when the storm actually does roll through, you have it documented through a roofer that there was no storm damage.
What you gonna do, boy?
Before the storm came, right?
What you gonna do, boy?
I'm just gonna shoot a couple pictures. Honestly, we're real busy. I'll be fast. And then I'll be quick. I'll just knock your door and show you the pictures and email them to you. You kind of look over.
Okay, go look
yeah,
at the roof. I got 2 minutes. You come down
boom,
quick and show
bye.
me.
And
All
I'm
right.
not pitching the process. I'm not pitching their problem really. And I'm real quick because
Oh, now close me.
no, here's the biggest part. Here's the biggest part where I want people to know is a lot of these solar companies and a lot of these roofers are showing them the damage at their door. They're telling them why they're the company to go with, why they're XYZ, what their problems are, how they can fix it. And then they get up on the roof. Or then they go back to, power bill and they start building the proposal. Now, what happens in that time when you show up and throw up, whether you did a good pitch, really good pitch might be worse. Is this guy's, you're up on the roof now inspecting it, and he's like,
Don't show up and throw up.
yeah, he's like, well, I need it, and I have problems, and did I make a good choice? Do I really have a problem? So he's doing research, right? And research leads to questions, and questions lead to buyer's remorse. He didn't even buy. I'm just dang good at pitching him because I know exactly what's going on. And these roofers do, or a solar guy knows he's going to save money, but the homeowner doesn't. And so now they're doing research whether this company was right, whether he should be up there, whether they need solar or not. When they come back down, what's going to happen? They have remorse. They might not even open the door to you. And that's another thing. Get the door open to you, right? So if they're rethinking doing this, also, if that door is open, you come in and present, you should have a flow. You should have a close, a system, right? What happens to your system when they've done all the research and they're running the show? They're asking the questions. They're asking about you, things that they looked further into, when really the only way to sell them is question-based selling, and you need to know their why and what their problem is. Well, they're selling you on maybe, deciding, but no one will ever really make that choice unless someone else tells them usually. So first time we knocked together, Lee, you were pitching. You were pitching that guy, Dean. I remember him.
Dean.
And then we got out, and you had printed out a name list, and all I did was get out of the car after a little bit, and I said, hey, look, honestly, I'm following this guy. I'm trying to figure out about roofs, but here, I talked to a few of these guys, did my research a little. Who do you know on my list? What do you do, Lee?
He said, yeah.
No, what do you do? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
He picked up the phone and called one of the guys on the list. Did he not? The guy's like, oh, I got this roof. I don't even hear the rain. He's like, I don't even hear the rain. It's this, and this. And our guys had come really close to signing him a bunch of times. And then he said, hey, if you sign the agreement with them, you'll have to do it. But they'll go the extra mile to make sure you got all the extra features I did. So that was his big thing. What did he want to sign an agreement and commit? He knew he had damage from the storm, but his buddy sold him. And so, just standing right. I'm not the normal guy that's, military status, at your door. I'm confused to the side. Maybe you can see my badge, maybe not. I'm pretty chill. Hey, in, out. I'm not walking up to people, looking at them in their eyes, being combative. I'm their buddy. We're taking on the world together. I'm side by side. But these people aren't getting the doors answered. I go train. I say, hey, man, stand back, okay? I have a different way of standing, different way of holding, and people will answer the door to me. And what happens every time? They don't listen. They come right to the doorstep. They stand there. Hey, they're looking through the blinds. Hey, they're smoking a bowl. They're putting it away. They may come answer. Oh, this one's naked. I'm like, dude, you're creeping me out. This person is not answering the door. And yeah, we have social media. You're on blast on the ring. Thanks, brother. I had to be a part of that. But they're not getting the door answered a lot. And how can you be a door-to-door salesman and close people if they don't answer the door? So like, let's start with getting the door answered. It would be like where I deep dive, sometimes. And then when I'm watching, I'm back, I'm back. I let them pull me in. And if they think they're good, if they think they're good and they're trying to show me something, I help them. I just smile. I'm like, haha, yeah. The old lady's like, and you know what? And I'm like, so great. I just smile, and they're pitching. They're like, the lady looks at me. She's like, looks at him and starts listening. They're like, oh, I overcame her objection. It's like, no, you just treated her nice by her looking at me for a second. But like, people don't see little cues and stuff like that where I notice them. And so it's nice if they stood back and could really observe and not be a part of my conversation, because you're, one, shooting me in the foot, because I told this lady we weren't going to sell her, and now you're on the ring saying, oh, this is a for sure sell, right? I mean, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just sit back and observe. If you're good, you could take some notes, if I need you, come in or whatever. But like, all these guys want to not take the notes. They want to.
Oh, now you got that inner Sam Taggart coming out.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Take some notes or get on.
Yeah. And
it brought you in. Sometimes that hard stuff's what people need. And hardcore door to door, it takes somebody committed to finding
my car.
This higher purpose for knocking doors, this next level of knocking doors. And, like I said, man, you got to be open-minded and willing to learn from everybody. I've been learning my entire life. And the one thing about it is I realize, dude, you got to make it like, I have to get better. If I don't go out in the field and knock doors once a week or 3 or 4 times throughout the month, then I lose a little bit of sense of what my sales guys are going through. And not only am I not using that as an opportunity to set the pace, show the example, make people understand that anybody can go out and make magic happen in a limited amount of time, but I'm also missing out on some of, like what they're going through.
One of the reasons I am able to slow it down, I think, was wrestling, right? My old coach, Coach Wallace, used to say, man, I think you're one of the best talents I've ever ran into, but you don't slow down. You could literally fall into a bag of tits and you'll come up sucking your thumb every time. And I'm like, wait, what does he mean by that? I'm like, what does he mean? But like, because I just wanted to keep going to the next thing or try the next thing and give up a little early. But I'm sitting there, in the whole bag, I'm come up sucking my thumb. But like, I realized.
What was that quote again?
He used to tell me, hey, if you fell into a bag of tits, you will come up sucking your thumb every time.
Oh, okay. Nice one.
And also his big one was excuses are like assholes. Everyone's got one. Obviously, they all stink. He hated excuses. And he hated when you did things wrong. Because rather you try the right way than just give up early.
So we got this mission to create, not just boxers, MMA fighters, kickboxers, and bringing them into door to door, but you have a vision for teaching kids wrestling and and teaching them some of the things that you've learned. What do you see in the future in that department?
Well, I've learned a lot of things and I got connected with a lot of people, but my end all vision is having some youth camps that we can get back. Like my dad gave back, not camps, but we had a batting cage growing up. We had a basketball court, and my dad gave out lessons all the time. Now, guess what? Does he need to advertise? All those kids are adults. Who do you think they call when they need a paint job? The guy that taught them baseball? The guy that invited him to their batting cage if they didn't have a dad? Mm-hmm. Anyways. And a lot of them didn't. He picked out kids that
people don't understand in contracting. Your network is your net worth, and they're not willing to invest into people, and they're not willing to play that long game and be of service to see what happens when karma, rewards you.
But yeah, I want to give back to kids. I want to have youth camps. I want to, be up in the mountains and.
What do you think lessons from wrestling? How do you think it affected you being a good door-to-door guy? What do you think it's?
Oh yeah, confidence. So I can be chill. Everyone says you're so chill. You're not so pushy. Because I'm confident deep down. You're not like, trying to tell me you're so strong or this or that and brag about yourself. Because I've already been there and done a lot of things. I want to hear what they've done. and I know it. But yeah, wrestling breeds different people. That sport is like, it's only you. And if you fail, it's only on you. But you're representing your school, your family. Everything's on your back. And it's on you.
Yeah.
So people that come from wrestling, they understand, like, hey, if I go out and I give it my all, generally I'll win. Because, you know, skill, whatever, but it's hard work. Like, I feel like I was better than everyone wrestling, but I didn't always win because I wasn't the hardest worker, honestly. But it taught me to be the hardest worker. Those defeats are usually where you get the most. I'm like,
absolutely, dude. I got knocked down by a dude in our gym, and he's a kid, 17 years old. I'm motivated. Eat more. And go a little harder in the weights.
Yeah, process. Trust the process. Hey,
go a little harder.
I want to go
bag.
fight the kid very first day. Like, I want to fight this guy.
Right.
Let alone not wrestle live. But like, the process is people get injured.
Yeah.
You right? You go running first. You go work out first. You go drill first. And then you peak when it matters. You go put in the service. You go put in the time. You go to the houses that have a roof, that have Vivint.
Love that, dude. Love that analogy,
and
dude.
Then, boom.
That's a fucking gold analogy right there, guys. If you want to get into that peak moment, the way you prepare for a wrestling match is you run before you get in the match. He would say he would go 3 miles before he would run. He said the way you get in the right state to get a door-to-door sale is that you be of service, you be enthusiastic about helping somebody else, about helping an old lady with trash in her yard, just being of service, trying to help people. You get in that service mindset, you get those endorphins flowing, you know that you're doing the right thing, boom, you get the sale.
I got to warm up. Me, I can be monotone. I can double down. Like, warm-up was key. You're talking about running 3 miles before the tournament. If I didn't do it, I'm screwed. You know, best time to catch me is day 3 early, you know, or in the tournament. Like, probably didn't sleep. I'm super cocky. Probably didn't warm up that hard. And I learned those lessons, though, through wrestling. And so what am I doing? Like, when I'm going out to area, I'm calling everyone. And I'm connecting to people that matter, that can give me some energy. But I'm calling them to check on them. Well, I'm calling everyone. Legit, I'm warming my voice up. I'm warming my thoughts up. What are you struggling with? What are you going through? Let me talk with you and get ready for my day. I need the warm up. If I'm not committed to running that meeting, if I'm not committed to warming myself up, I'm going to show up and be dull. And I'm going to not be on my game. And I'm not going to be thinking, and sure, I'm good and whatever. But I want to get that first door, and I want to be on my game because that old lady is the one that I need to treat right too, right? And not pitch, really. They're there. I'm going to run into them. They have an alarm. They have a roof. So I really need to be like on top of it when I get there. Now, if I mess up that neighborhood today, first thing, like, man, I got to work that for a month. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just trusting the process, doing things right. There's a million things that you learn through wrestling, but really, it's like it's all on you, and work hard for what you want.
That's the kind of people and recruits we want. That's why we're creating a blue-collar fight club where we teach kids how to wrestle, punch, kick, choke, and beyond that, the grown men can get in the ring and choke each other out, pin each other down, punch each other in the face, or maybe break each other's legs.
Yeah, you can work hard at work.
Coming to a arena near you. Blue Collar Fight Club. Can't wait.
It fixes a lot of people's lives and their problems. So,
well, look, guys, this has been an epic episode. You got to follow him on Instagram, Jared Lee True. Hey, comment below anything you want to hear more about this door-to-door stuff. You're going to be seeing more episodes with him coming in this YouTube. He's going to be collaborating with Sky Diamonds, coaching people, helping people, and I'm very grateful. Shout out to the people at Door to Door Experts. They do a really good job, and thanks for coming on here, dude. You did a badass job with this podcast.
Alrighty, cool. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you.